Yo, what up, people? What up, man? Yo, it's the No Man Podcast back. Yep, it's Saturday, so don't get crazy now. I know you see us on Saturday, and you see some new faces here, but it's the No Man Podcast, man. We just pop up. We do what we gotta do. As always, it's your man, Ace, Mitch Abers in the house. We got a returning guest. If you remember the guy who was on the road last time, now he's in his domicile. He's in the headquarters, man. He's here. My man Marshall, what's up, baby? How you doing today?
Yeah, it's coming live from Kingdom Castle, the office, and just ready to talk some fantasy. Let's do it.
All right. Well, look, people, we got a special guest here, and I'm just gonna tell you how it is, man. Y'all didn't see his face the last time, but this is one of the OGs. When we first did the podcast, low budget, back in the days on our 15-minute lunch smoke breaks back in the day. It's Kenny, baby. I mean, it's Kenny the Man Schultz. What's up, Schultz Train?
Schultz Train! What's up?
Kenny!
Kenny Schultz, man. You know, he's an OG. He's been in the league for a while. Look, I'll be honest. I'm gonna tell you right now how it is. You know, Mitch. I shoot from the hip. I don't, nothing written down. Always honest. Kenny's not the greatest fantasy player. He'll tell you that from the get-go. But he puts that.
But Mitch,
listen, hold on a second. Let me finish. Kenny is one of those assassins, though. Kenny knows what he's talking about, and he makes you sometimes think that he doesn't. I know the real Kenny. Kenny's a good player. He knows he makes some bad moves sometimes, but this year's different. You know, him like most of us got hit with the COVID, got hit with the injured players, but got some good insight. So I'm excited to have you on the show, Kenny. First time guest. Let's give him a no man clap. No man clap, baby.
Woo! Right.
So, yeah, what we're going to do tonight, we're just going to talk about, I want to start off by talking about Thursday night's game, the massacre at Lambeau Field, right? It was at Lambeau, right? Was the game?
Yeah.
Yeah. The massacre at Lambeau Field.
Oh, that was in San Francisco.
Was it in San Francisco?
Yeah.
He might be right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it was.
Oh, I know. Someone died. There was a lot of people that died that night. It was not good. Not good. But, we're going to talk about I want to talk about some of the players that are returning tomorrow that I think are going to impact the games, a lot of the games that are going on, and just kind of maybe talk about some of the games and just go from there. But, yeah, let's just jump into it. I want to start off because I got to say this. I had Aaron Jones, right, in another league. And up until 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, there wasn't any clear what he was doing. It was he may start, he may not start. If he does start, it's going to be on a snap count. And so I had no choice. I had to start him. And I mean, he gave me 12 points. It's not an Aaron Jones day. You know, it wasn't your typical Aaron Jones, block party or whatever. But the machine, Aaron Rodgers, Marshall, what did you think about that, dude? Like, what was your thoughts watching this dude just angrily sling that ball down the field, man?
I can tell you right now, I just go back to the thought that the person who owned Aaron Rodgers was going to trade him to anybody else in the league. And I'm sitting there, I think all of us are smacking our heads that we did not take this player from him.
It's me. He came at me first. I mean, and we're talking, what was, just so you guys know, not a no ma'am in Lewis's league, who was supposed to join us tonight. So I'd give a shout out to you, but I ain't going to mention your name.
He just did.
But Lewis was gonna. Lewis was gonna trade me. He wanted, because Lewis is the combo king. He believes in him. I taught him that before he started playing fantasy football. And Kenny, you could attest to us because we worked together and we would talk about it all the time. When I'd give these guys some advice on, what fantasy football is truly like. Because I've said this before. You can know football, but sometimes fantasy is just a little bit of a different animal for it. But anyway, long story short, Lewis said to me in the beginning of the year, he goes, I'll give you Aaron Rodgers for Drew Brees straight up because he has Kamara. And I said, nah, man. I like Drew Brees. I wasn't sure about Rodgers because all he has is Devontae. That's all you freaking need, apparently.
Yeah.
But whatever. But yeah, so yeah, that it is what it is. But yeah, no, go back to you, Marshall. I mean, that was just that was just an inspiring performance.
It's just,
by
man,
everybody.
and it's like it's been all year for him. I'm saying, I think during this COVID period, during this fantasy league, where really you can't depend on, there's not too many dependable scores every week.
Right.
You
Right.
have Kamara, you have Aaron Rodgers, and you have the triplets in Kansas City, where you can depend on every week to
Well,
get.
you got to throw Russell Wilson in there too.
Oh yeah, and Russell. I'm sorry, I forgot Russell and Russell Wilson. You can depend on them to give you 20 to 30 points a week, every week.
Right.
And since COVID, and this is what's been happening, and to see that happen again and again and again, it's just, you just got to be lucky sometimes in picking in fantasy football, man, that you catch on to that player that it's his year and it's his time, and it's going to happen, man, and he can carry your whole team.
But do you? So I got a question for you, Kenny, and I'll ask you in a second. But do you attest this to only COVID? Like, I mean, it's easy. Like, COVID's the scapegoat. Like, I think there's a lot more competition in the league now, and there's guys that are look, there wasn't a lot of major opt-outs, right? So a lot of your stars are still there. And I mean, look, right there. Cincinnati Bengals, man. AJ Green, I mean, he just doesn't have that connection with Joe Burrow. Dude's healthy, but Joe's found that connection with Tyler Boyd, and so there's a lot of these older guys that are in the league that were your main scorers. Like, look, D-Hop is giving you points. We know that. You went down. You said Russell. You got Allaire and Mahomes and Kelsey. You got people like Ertz, who's hurt, who was a monster. You got guys like Kittle, who's hurt, but was a monster. I look, I'm more to say, yes, the COVID had a lot to do with it, but I think this shows us that we need maybe at least 2 preseason games.
I think that too, but I just think with the COVID, it's just like another injury out of nowhere that can happen. It's
like an
just
extra layer. Like an extra layer.
It's like an extra thing that can hurt you during the season.
Right.
You're already worried about injuries, ankles, and anything like that. But now you have this that could take your player out for 2 to 3 weeks. Like, I'm just being an example. I'm finally getting something out of my rookie Brandon Ayuk from San Francisco. Thank God I saw it before he came, and then
now he's out with COVID, right?
And now he's out of COVID. So that was a 20-point score a week ago, and he's gone. So it's just it just adds another layer of now another injury that out of nowhere could come and pretty much hurt your team.
Right. And a few weeks ago, Austin was on the podcast, and he made a great statement about the handcuff. The handcuff now is good to have, but the problem with the handcuff, which I see happening, is you're fighting now in the waiver wire because there's so many guys, to your point, that are going out because of the COVID. Now everyone's going after that guy.
But I'm also going to bring this to you, Mitchell. When have you tried to handcuff wide receivers and quarterbacks now? It was just running backs that we.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. You're 100% right.
Now you're almost having to handcuff your quarterback.
Right. But now I will say this though, Kenny, and I'll ask you this, with what he just said with the quarterback, unless you have, because you had, correct me if I'm wrong, you had Russell Wilson last year, right?
No, I didn't.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Unless you have a Russell, a Patrick, I'm not even going to throw Lamar in it because Lamar's putting like doo-doo brains out there. But like, I'm okay in a sense doing a quarterback carousel. What's your feelings on the quarterbacks?
Well, I mean, I always draft, and Marcia attested to this, I always draft 2 quarterbacks in my drafts. In No Man specifically, I had Matt Ryan and I think Dak Prescott.
Right.
And Dak, of course, got injured.
Right.
So now I had to replace him with Derek Carr. So I've been starting Matt Ryan, but hands down, yeah, I've always, even before COVID, always drafted 2 quarterbacks just so I could rotate depending on the situation on what teams are playing and so forth.
Well, two-part response to that then. A, do you think that has hurt you in the past? Because no matter, I mean, obviously I do the draft at my house. Shout out to the No Man Posse. But when you draft that first one, wherever, because I know you're known for drafting a quarterback kind of early. I will say that, but and that's fine. I mean, because as long as you got a good running back and a good wide receiver to tandem with that quarterback, I think you're fine. I think what you have to do, and I think what would be a good strategy for maybe what with me, because I'm the exact opposite. Marshall knows I don't draft a quarterback to the 8th, 9th round if I don't have to. I'm building a squad. Like I want, the leader could come, because again, if you're not in a draft position to get an elite, then don't worry about a quarterback, because there's enough guys out there. So the second part I want to ask you is when Dak went down and you went to go get your second quarterback, do you remember who was on the waiver wire at that time?
Oh yeah, I got Andy Dalton.
No, but I'm saying who was available? Like what other players? Because you said you want to get Andy, then he went out. Now you got Derek Carr. Was Herbert? I don't think Herbert wasn't available, right?
I don't think he was.
No, because you have Herbert, right?
Yeah.
Marshall? Yeah.
Yeah, I picked up Herbert. Great pick.
It was like Andy, Derek Carr.
Because there wasn't a lot to choose from, but I mean, I think like now there's a few guys like Drew. Like, I scrambled in another league I'm in when Matt Stafford went down on Tuesday with high risk of being COVID. I went and got Drew Lock, and I'll tell you and we talked. I don't know if you guys watched the podcast on Tuesday. We talked about Drew Lock when he was in the end zone. He was doing his little dance. Yeah, I love that about the kid, because that's confidence. We all know that. Swag is confidence. I mean, look at Cam now. He's like this. Cam's a deer in the headlights right now. So, Marshall, I'm going to ask you this, though, before I lose my mind. Scanlon for Green Bay. Is he trustworthy?
No. Dude,
who else?
I'm telling you right now, it's getting to the point where Aaron Rodgers is sort of like it used to be like, it's almost like Tom Brady to this point where he'll pass to anybody that's hot at the time. And Scanlon, and as long as Devontae Adams or Aaron Jones or one of the other running backs are on the field, or he found a tight end, so that's another person Scanlon got to go up against with Tomlin, right? So I'm saying it's just
you only give me a 1.5. He only had one catch.
That's one time, but then he'll blow up for 1 week and
Next week he'll have 13, 15 points.
That's what I'm saying. Aaron Rodgers is becoming that player. He's not like Drew Brees, where Mike Thomas is going get it every time. Mike Thomas is going to eat. He's not like Patrick Mahomes, where Tyreek Hill is going to eat. The tight end, Kelsey, they're going to eat. Now he's becoming almost like Tom Brady, where in that New England offense, where every week it could be James White 1 week. It could be Edelman will get.
It's always going to be Devontae Adams, though. I mean, it's always going to be Adams.
Yeah, I'm saying Adams is always going to get eat, but then any secondary receiver, throw up a hand.
You don't know.
You don't know.
On the other side of the ball, Kenny, they had two running backs that were healthy, literally. I mean, the 49ers. They had McKinnon, and they had that Harris kid, right? That's his name?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Hasty. I'm sorry, Hasty. I mean, he got 3 points. I mean, what would your take on that? I mean, it's hard to kind of analyze their situation. That is the most hurt COVID team, in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, when your whole team gets hit by COVID, man, I mean, and you're running behind a depleted offensive line that's been shuffled in and out because of COVID, I mean, you're running for your life, man. I mean, it's like you can't get somebody really good in there to do it. They've just been killed by COVID this year and injuries.
Yeah, I mean, it was sad to see. I mean, the Richie kid, though, I mean, he had 33 freaking points. That kid was all over the field, the wide receiver. I mean, but again, if you're crazy enough to go out and start picking that guy up, or I mean, because Debo's going to be back, Bourne's going to be back. The other kid, who's the other kid? Ayuk's going to be back. Ayuk's the stud. That kid's.
I think Ayuk is the stud. That's why I got him. But again, COVID again. But I want to get back to that point about Aaron Rodgers and receivers. You remember early in the season, I think everybody, week 2 or 3, he just makes stars out of no-name receivers all the time. Alan Lazard.
Yeah.
How many people jumped on Alan Lazard after that touchdown game, and then he gets hurt and is gone? I'm talking about. That's why.
I picked him up. I had him early though. I had him before him because he was on the team last year, and they talked about Lazard. They were like, "I got a good relationship with the kid." I mean, he's hurt now, so that's why he's not playing. But I was a believer in Lazard because look, I'm of the theory. Obviously, I'm freaking wrong, 1,000% about this. But to your point, I mean, every down he's throwing the ball, his eyes are locked on Devontae. Period.
Yeah.
And he's not getting stopped though. Like, explain that to me.
Same reason New Orleans. Every down. I mean, back last year, you could see when Teddy was in the game. Every down, his eyes was locked on Mike Thomas, and they couldn't stop him. Short passes, intermediate passes, deep passes. I'm saying double team, triple team. He got the ball. It's just you find that receiver and quarterback combination, and it's magic. And that's who that person goes to.
So from a fantasy perspective, if you take Devontae, right? Let's say you're sixth, seventh pick first round, right? And he's around. Because in our league, if certain guys are at the top, players in no man, they're going after the running backs, right? Let's say you take Devontae with the 6th pick. Do you quickly turn around and take Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, right? I mean, I don't believe in taking quarterbacks early, Kenny. I mean, you're an early quarterback guy.
When you got a combination like that they just connect all the time, absolutely, I would.
Right.
Absolutely. I was thinking this year if I could have got Hops and D-Hop, I was definitely going Kyler Murray right after that because I knew what was going to happen. And now we see D-Hop is
different animal. Different animal, though.
The game.
No, but different animal, though. You don't just turn around right then and there and take Kyler Murray. You can still get Kyler.
Everybody knows who I'm going for after that. 3-4 rounds later, everybody knows I'm going.
Everyone knows because you're going to start talking about it at the draft. You're like, I'm getting next. You know what I'm going to do. That's you give it away. You're just going to sit there and be like, D-Hop. 5 rounds later, Kyler Murray. That's what you're going to do. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, look, I drafted Joe Burrow in a league of mine, with the last pick of the draft because no one took him. My quarterback went down.
You're a fan, and then
but it doesn't.
I know you had one of his wide receivers, right? You had Tyler.
Yeah, but again, so let me ask. You know what? Let's talk about that. That's a great topic. Hey, just so you know, really quick before we get into the next topic. I got an announcement to make a little towards the end of this podcast, right? And let's just say, with that genius stuff that you just spat right there, that may put you where you need to be. Just remember what I said, right? When I surprise you guys at the end with the special announcement. But anyway, let me ask you this question, because I have a problem with this, because I've known people to give both you guys crap about when Cam was on the Panthers, right? A homer pick to me is someone that is not the stud of the team. If you, a Panther fan, had either one of you had the number 1 pick in the draft and take CMC, that is not a homer pick. No. That is a smart pick. Okay? By me taking Tyler Boyd in the 3rd round, that is not a homer pick.
I don't think
that is a smart pick. Me taking Joe Burrow with my last pick of the draft,
that may be a homer pick.
Homer pick.
Oh, I got one for you.
But wait a second.
Wait.
Marshall,
Kenny, when did you take Curtis Samuel?
that's a homer pick. He should have been drafted.
Kenny, when did you take Curtis?
I can't
Hold on.
remember. Do you
Hold on,
remember? I
hold
can't
on.
remember what pick it was.
I have the board right here.
When did you
I
take
get my
Curtis
board?
Samuel?
Because I thought you were going to get him.
Oh, I knew I wasn't gonna get. I got DJ earlier, so I was covered with my Panther.
I know. You took him. I was like, God. What?
He took him with the last pick. His last
No,
pick.
really?
That was a homer
Yeah.
pick.
No, it's not. That's like, okay, I'm gonna survive, keep this guy from dying. You know.
Oh, he could have got any other rookie wide receiver.
Come on, it's your mystery relevant. It's the last pick of the draft, man. If he were no, Kenny, I'm sorry. I love you to death, brother, but I'm going to pull your card on this one. I don't remember what year it was. It was a while ago. This was before the draft.
All time.
This was before the drafts were actually at my house. I know we used to rotate houses, right?
Right.
It's at my condo.
It was at your apartment. It was at your apartment. Kenny with the 4th pick, not the 4th round, the 4th pick of the draft. Amani Edwards.
Oh,
Appalachian State.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Not the 4th round.
Yes,
people.
he will forever ring me for that. That was
this his rookie year?
That was right.
Yeah. He was coming out of App State. And,
what were you thinking, Kenny? You thought he was just going.
I saw him at App State, man, and I was like, holy crap! This guy's like the next Michael Vick.
Hey, time out. We have to explore this because
No, we don't. It's
I got to ask two. I got 2 questions.
You get one question.
Did you think he was going to be the quarterback, Kenny? Did you think he was going to be a quarterback? And he was the 3rd receiver taken in that draft by the Panthers. What were you thinking at that point?
I don't know, man. I saw the excitement he did at
quarterback.
Appalachian State.
No, because
I saw that. That's true because he wasn't drafted as a quarterback. He was drafted as a receiver.
Wide receiver.
Yeah. I'm saying, did you think he would come in and beat Jimmy Clausen out as quarterback that year?
I don't know what his thought process
I just thought Jimmy Clausen was terrible. I don't know, man.
We all
worst
make
pick I ever made.
mistakes.
Worst
We
pick
all
I ever
make
made. That's all I'm
mistakes.
saying. That's like all I'm saying, man.
But anyway, so get
I
back
can't
to
explain it.
To me, if a player on your favorite team is a quality ball player he puts up points, that's not a homer pick. That's not. I mean, dude, for the years that even Andy Dalton and AJ Green were the hot combination, those aren't homer picks. They're not. Curtis Samuel in the 5th.
If you're not picking them, if you're picking them where they were ranked to go and where they were supposed
to be,
that's not a homer pick.
Right.
No, somewhere close around there. That's just luck. That's really happiness in fantasy football. I get to cheer for my team and cheer for the players I like, and I got them in rounds they were supposed to be in. That's just
let's segue then into the next part. What we want to talk about is for tomorrow's games. Before we get into the games portion of it, we got some returning players tomorrow. We got your boy. We'll talk about him first. CMC coming back tomorrow. We got Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders coming back tomorrow. We got Jamal Adams for Seattle's defense coming back tomorrow, which I think is going to be huge. And I read something today. I want to talk about him as well. We could actually start off with him, get you guys' thoughts on it. Is Austin Eckler. Apparently, the injury was more than what they expected, and he's not healing properly, and he's not able to bounce off that foot. You know, I don't think they're really missing a step with Jackson and Kelly back there, who are playing really good. You know that they're not putting up Eckler numbers when Eckler's healthy, but with Herbert in there now,
Herbert is doing good. The running game is terrible.
But they don't. But the running game isn't as needed as it once was.
They're not winning, so I guess what standard are you going by? The offense looks good because Herbert is just bombing, and they're doing what Carolina did with Cam his rookie year. They're just letting him go. And
Right. Which I'm saying is it's not there's not so much of a need right now to have an explosive running game. Justin Jackson's getting the yards when he needs to get them. He's not putting up 150 yards, 100, maybe not even 100 yards, but they're using them when they need to because teams aren't expecting them to run. And so when they,
but fantasy-wise, Mitchell,
from a fantasy perspective, you stay away from anything Charger running back.
Except
absolutely.
for Herbert. Except for Herbert and Keenan Allen.
No, dude, Mike Williams is an animal right now, dude. He's having.
He's putting up solid numbers too. Yeah, I don't care.
Hunter's playing okay. Hunter's doing okay, but no.
Hunter's been hurt the last couple weeks, right?
He was hurt like 2 weeks ago. He came back last week, I believe. Last week.
Yeah, okay.
I'll let you guys. I'll throw the question to you two. You guys are Panther fans, with the return of CMC tomorrow. What is we know the obvious what that does for the team, but how do you see him coming back? Do you see same CMC as it was before with that same workload, or how do you Marshall? Kenny, I'll let you start. What do you see? How do you see it flowing?
No, I see them slowly working him back. Mike Davis, I think, is still going to be a big part of that offense. In fact, they can almost use him like a fullback. I mean, on your short yardage situations. Right. But I think he will get back to the point where he was, but it's going to be a slow process. I think Mike Davis is going to be still a big piece of the offense.
But do you see them using him? What scares me is that he hasn't been. I mean, has he been a full participant in practice all this week? So he has been hit with the pads and stuff like that?
Last couple of weeks he has been. He's been practicing.
Oh, yes, okay.
So, I mean, we all know, it's football shape. It's football speed. I mean, Marshall, you played football, yourself. Your son plays football. It's a matter of getting up to what are your thoughts on what they're going to do with him? Well, what are your hopes? Let me ask you that.
My thoughts is new coaching staff. I don't know. If it was Rivera, I would know exactly. They're throwing him back in. He's doing 35 a game, 35 catches a game. This new coaching staff, I can't put a value on what Rule's going to do with him or Brady's going to do with him. One thing I do see, and I'm hoping to see, is that, some of the plays that Mike Davis was doing that got you 15 yards, those are the plays that McCaffrey gets, like catches out the backfield and goes 30, 40 yards. Wait.
Yeah, I see that.
That speed, that agility, where Mike Davis was more of the pounder and trying to run people over.
Right.
You put CMC in space, and he's making jukes and making fakes. So I'm hoping it opens up the offense. But I don't think – but like Kenny, I think they're going to work him in. I hope they work him in slowly. Hope they see that they have a backup running back. They're not making him run up in the line. And they're just using him for, scat plays at first. Hopefully.
Well, see, I've always said this, and people always crap on me about this. I don't look at Christian McCaffrey as a traditional running back. I look at him as the all-around back. I don't think we've had someone like him in a long, long time in the league. Like none of them to come. What is that?
LT. He's like LT.
Actually, Marshall Faulk comes to mind for me.
Marshall too. I think they're all. That's the same line. I think Marshall, LaDainian, and Kirsten.
What I'd like to see Matt, Rule and Brady use him is keep Mike Davis as your running back, but also have CMC back there in the backfield with him, and you have an option of are you going to risk the run from Mike Davis, who's a beast, or you're going to worry about Christian coming out of the backfield? Because if a linebacker who comes in and Christian sidesteps him and Teddy Two Gloves just hits him on a little he's gone, like you said, for 40 yards.
I think my problem with that is I think they're going to have to keep a tight end on the field because the O-line is not good
But
right
your
now.
tight ends are garbage, dude. Your tight end, you know.
But they're blockers. I'm saying you keep one on
Ian
the
Thomas
field.
is, you know, is such a
I'm
disappointment.
disappointed in Ian Thomas too.
So disappointed.
Again, I'm just saying you keep one in just to block because right now, unless Okun plays, your tackle situation is going to be bad. Yeah, I know they need him to block, but I would love that offense. I love you put all your weapons out there. You got Mike Davis, Christian McCaffrey, D. Moore, Curtis, and Robbie Anderson. I would love to see that. Some kind of offense.
I just, like you said, I don't think the O-line can handle it. I mean, Teddy's been catching a beat in the last few weeks, man. So
that's what I'm saying. I don't think the O-line can handle that.
And who do you guys have tomorrow? Are you
KC.
In Kansas, in KC too, right?
Yeah. That's not gonna happen. That's gonna be
let's talk about some games. You know, the game. I think is going to be weirdly, I just think it's going to be a shootout. Is the Broncos Falcons game?
Wow.
I think let's focus our energy around fantasy perspective. Okay, so we'll talk about a few guys in each game that we think maybe will be studs tomorrow in that game. Obviously, Julio. I don't think anyone on the Broncos are going to have anything for Julio, but they may focus their energy on that, which makes Ridley and Gage dangerous. I think Todd Gurley's going to have a game. I called on my bold prediction on the podcast. By the way, shout out to Genus and Mr. West, you know, two greatest co-hosts in the world. Shout out to you fellas. My bold prediction was Todd Gurley and Melvin Gordon were both going to have 165 yards, roughly, and each have 2 touchdowns. So I see it becoming a running battle also. But I'll tell you, Tim Patrick, if he's back, he's a good wide receiver. Hamler, him and Drew Lock have a good relationship. So again, it's the Falcons. They could be up by 60 points, and you know, like, oh.
I'll give you somebody right now.
Okay.
Noah Fant, because
that's a good pick.
The Falcons cannot cover tight ends worth jack.
Good.
T.J. Hawkinson went off. I'm saying, yeah, they can't cover tight ends.
Yeah, that's he's so that would be your sleeper in the game tomorrow.
Yes, Noah Fant.
Gotcha. Kenny, anyone from that game you got your eye on?
You know what, Hayden Hurst, he started off terrible.
Right.
He's been picking him up lately, man. So I'm going to be watching him, especially with Calvin Ridley out.
Oh, he's out?
I know you got Julio.
Is he out, Ridley?
Yeah, he's injured.
Oh,
he got injured.
I thought he was questionable.
He got injured in the Panther game. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
Okay.
He's out big time.
Are you sure he's out? I don't know, man.
I think Jeremy Chin took him out.
I thought he had a question mark next to his name. I'm gonna check my trusty phone right now and see how. Yeah, he's questionable right now. Yeah, I don't know. Questionable is not good.
Yeah,
I do like what Raheem. I like what Raheem's doing down there, man. I like that he got them boys. I know you guys.
Come on, that's not Raheem, and that's not what they're doing down there. They do this every year. They suck for the first part of the season, and then we're gonna save a coach and we're gonna play good for the last part of the season.
Right.
This team is terrible. They need to start rebuilding. Atlanta should have been rebuilding last year.
No, I feel you. I feel you on that.
I think they lost their soul after 28-3, and they have never been the same since then. 28-3 took a soul, and that team was done.
Yeah. I'm again to go back to what we talked about on Tuesday. I am so surprised. No one got moved. No one got looked at. You know, it's crazy, man. You know.
Did you hear what Tack was saying?
What?
Tack McKinley, the defense end.
He wanted out, right?
He trashed the whole team.
Yeah.
He said, "Why are y'all not trying to trade me?"
I got to pause just a second here.
No, we'll go on to the next game then, Marshall, you and I. The Seahawks and Bills. I mean, I think Josh Allen's hurt. He's still got that brace on his shoulder.
Yeah.
So that's going to screw him up a little bit. Obviously, I think. Derrick Henry's bitch, Josh Norman. He's out. He's gone for the game.
Josh. I love Josh.
So,
Stop it on Josh.
Kenny, you're on mute, Kenny. He's on mute. Okay.
I will never hate Josh Norman. I don't care what anybody say. I love Josh.
Dude, Derrick Henry made him look bad. But anyway.
Hey, Derrick Henry will make a lot of people look bad.
I kind of seen that being lopsided. I mean, if you have, but again, you don't know with Russell Wilson. I mean, is he going to throw to Lockett this week? Is he going to throw to Metcalf this week? Is it going to be a David Moore week?
Wait. Dude, that Bills defense is still good. Man. Their secondary. I think Seattle's offensive line is not that great. And that pass rush from the Bills is going to be Ed Oliver, all them. Ooh, it's going to be a good game. I'm telling you. But,
it'll be a good game. But again, from a fantasy perspective, how many touchdowns is Russell Wilson going to have tomorrow?
Oh, Russell's going to find a way. Russell throws moonshots and gets touchdowns.
So that's what I'm saying. So, but who's it going to be? Is it going to be Lockett? Is it going to be Metcalf? Is it going to be David Moore? Will Greg Olsen finally catch a pass?
No, Olsen's done, man.
Now that's a homer pick, and I know I can look on the board. It was kind of late.
I remember the draft. I tricked Kenny.
It was round 12, and you took Greg Olsen, dude. Greg Olsen's mama didn't even take Greg Olsen this year.
You know what happened? We were sitting there, and
I know you guys were egging him on, but that was to my point of what Kenny the drafter. No. Kenny the fantasy player is good. Kenny the drafter, not so good.
Kenny had the right mindset. I promise you. Kenny was looking for a young tight end. I saw it coming out of his mouth, and he was the
wait, stop. Young tight end. He picked the oldest tight end in the league.
He was looking for somebody, and it was the player I want, and I could see him getting around to it. So then I threw out there, hey, Greg Olsen's still there. And it threw Kenny off.
See, Marcia and I, we have this competition, man. It's like with the Panthers players, like who's going to get McCaffrey? Who's going to get DJ Moore?
Right.
He got
every year. It's a competition to find out who's going to get which.
See, but that's why you guys never win, because you pick with your freaking hearts, pick with your minds.
Somebody's the champion on this thing.
I've been a champion in this league in here. Not you.
I'm just saying, Kenny is a champion.
Wait. You down there? No.
Kenny is a champion of a league.
Over here? No.
Hey, Marcia.
Listen.
Yeah, Kenny, I'll give you credit all day. The way you ran through that league, the other league last year, was magical.
I'm going to raise my hand and say something to this right now. There's an asterisk next to that because his whole entire draft was an auto draft. His entire draft was an auto draft.
Everybody says that.
Everybody says that.
You auto drafted Lamar Jackson.
Hey, and you listen. You're going to need to talk to your friend Lewis about it too, because understand this. Tell him, because he doesn't remember, obviously, that last year you were in first place in No Man the entire season. The entire season. Did you win?
Nope.
He thinks he's won the league already. He's on cloud 95 right now. Like, I can't be beat.
I was dominating that league all year. All year. Right. And lost in the championship. But let's go past that.
We'll go past it.
I don't want to talk about that no more.
I don't want to talk about every game. We talked a little about the Panthers game. The Ravens-Colts game. It's going to be whatever. We'll go through this. We'll kind of do a revised no ma'am, no yes ma'am, no ma'am. We'll go quickly through it. No 40 picks. No long explanations.
I got you. Hey, Mitch, I do have a question for you though.
Yes, sir.
Just your fantasy opinion. What Raven running back would you take right now? They're going to have a running offense.
I will say this: if Mark Ingram is not going to play, I'm taking J.K. Dobbins.
You would take Gus, even though they use.
No. I like. Here's the thing. I like Gus, but from a volume point of view, because look, as well as I do that no Raven running back is going to should. I'm not going to say not going to. Shouldn't be getting. Isn't going to probably going to give you more than 15 points, right?
Right.
But
Right.
but the J.K. Dobbins is getting more of the carry. He's getting more volume than Gus. Gus is coming in when J.K. has a long run or a long catch and gets popped, or it's been a long drive and they want to give him just a little change of pace. But for the most part, J.K. is the guy, in my opinion.
But he's vulturing. That's the part that gets scary because he's doing the Mike Tolbert thing where they get down to the goal line.
Right, and then they give it to Gus Edwards.
And they bring in Gus Edwards.
Okay, but let me ask you this: in a fantasy league, and you notice because again, you've been on the cusp of a championship and whatever.
Whatever.
You don't want a guy that is goal line dependent.
Oh, you hate that. Oh, I despise. You hate it for both running backs.
Right.
You hate it for both running backs. You hate that the running back that gets you down there, and then you hate for the goal line, especially when you have a running quarterback.
So again, I'm going to take you back to Thursday night. In Lewis's league, I have Aaron Jones, right?
Right.
They get down to the goal line twice, and he throws it twice. I mean, you give me those 2 touchdowns, right? My score from 12 goes to 24, like that, because it's going to be more volume for him. It is what it is. I mean, at this point, again, if you don't have look at Allaire. Allaire, he's running over. He's going all over the field. He's catching the ball. He's running the ball.
No goal line carry.
No, he has 2 touchdowns this entire season.
It's garbage. I hate it. I hate those teams. I'm starting to hate running quarterbacks because now, even though I live with Cam and I love the fact, but then it just takes away points from running backs in fantasy league.
But
because
this is the shift.
Run it in at least half the time.
And Kenny could probably attest to this too, is that there's a shift now. There's no such thing as a goal line running back anymore. There's no one. These guys, because a lot of the times it's you're seeing more big plays, 30, 40 yards down the field. You're not with the exception obviously of Dalvin Cook last week. I mean, we all know Kirk Cousins does not like to only throw the ball 17 times in a game. He's a 25 to 35 to 40 guy a game. I mean, look at the Bengals. Look at Joe Burrow. He's throwing the ball 49, 50 times a game. I mean, Joe Mixon has – but the last 2 weeks, Giovanni Bernard, 22 points and 20 points.
Oh, God. Don't bring that up.
It makes no sense. So let's go. Let's real quickly we'll go through a stardom, and then we'll go through a yes ma'am and a no ma'am.
Yep.
For tomorrow, starting wise, I'll start it off. And we'll get rid of the obvious, the Russell Wilsons or whatever. But I'm going Drew Lock, man. I'm gonna go Drew Lock. I'm gonna say he's a start. I don't trust Atlanta's defense whatsoever. I think they're pathetic. And you can throw, and it's going to be a shootout. He's going to throw the ball. If Atlanta plays to Atlanta's capabilities, they should be up in that game. And Drew Lock is going to be throwing that ball. He's going to be throwing it a lot. Kenny, give me a
quarterback starter. That's your quarterback starter right there. Drew Lock.
Right, Drew Lock for tomorrow.
Okay.
Not the number 1 starter of the week. He's not like I don't got fireworks going around his ass. That's your secret guy,
though. That's your secret guy.
I would say, he's in my top 5 to start. Put it that way.
Okay.
I got Tom Brady. You're playing.
Well, that's an obvious, you weirdo. That's an obvious. No Tom. Look, we know Tom Brady's going to give you points. We know Drew Brees is going to give you points. We know Russell Wilson's going to look at someone outside of But Tom Brady. Tom Brady's a great pick. You can't. It's going to be tomorrow. If from a fantasy perspective, I'm going to let you keep that one because from a fantasy perspective, they're going to be throwing that ball over the field tomorrow. Both quarterbacks, him and Drew Brees. So if you got those guys, start them. send, as I say in every podcast, send all your questions to the nomamfantasyfootball@gmail.com. That's right, nomamfantasyfootball@gmail.com. If you ask quarterback, I'm telling you Tom Brady. So no, that's a great pick, Kenny.
I mean, and I know it's pretty obvious, but go ahead, Marcia.
A secret start. Cal Allen against the New York Giants. He's going to put up points.
Yeah.
He's got his receivers back. He's got Terry McLaurin back. He's going to put up points tomorrow.
I agree. Kenny, who do you guys are running back tomorrow?
I'm probably, here's one, Zach Moss.
I like that.
I like
That's a good pick because the Seahawks can't stop anyone on the. Well, they have a decent run defense, but no, that's a great pick. He's been playing lights out.
That's
what
another
did they do to Montgomery though?
That's another season. Singletary. That's another thing that's been off. Running backs that were predicted to be good have not been this year. Montgomery,
He's been out touching Singletary.
Huh?
Moss has been out touching Singletary.
That's my point. But Singletary was predicted to be the guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean
Right.
Montgomery is predicted to be the guy, and then even Josh Jacobs. I'm thinking he's supposed to have a great season.
Yeah.
He's iffy.
Well, Rashad, that's crazy because Wes and I talked about that because Wes is a diehard Raiders fan. Rashad is getting a lot of play, dude. He's one of those sneaky guys that if you are desperate for a running back, Rashad's not a bad pick.
Yeah, you're right.
Give me a running back there, Marsh.
You you stole him earlier, man. My boy's heating up, man. For the Falcons. Last Gurley.
Gurley, yeah.
You stole him from me. You said it earlier.
I think Gurley's going to have a great game. As I think.
Last couple weeks, man, Gurley is he's getting back. They're actually featuring him.
Yeah. You don't even hear the name Ito Smith or Brian Hill anymore. I mean, a little bit Brian Hill, but you don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Gurley. I really
Okay.
like Gurley.
I'm gonna. I think the guy's due for a good game, and I know he's playing up against a bad team. But can we have a David Johnson sighting? I mean, really?
Yeah.
I mean, let me ask you this though: would you be pissed off if you're Will Fuller, that your name, you're the cornerstone wide receiver on that team right now, and they're talking about trading you? I mean, I don't know. But I'm going to say David Johnson. Marshall, I'll start with you with a wide receiver. Give me a wide receiver you think is going to have some fun tomorrow.
Fun tomorrow, wide receivers. I think I'm going to go homer. I think the Panthers game is going to be a shootout. So look for Robbie Anderson.
Okay.
Robbie Anderson.
Solid.
Yeah, he's been good all year.
Yeah.
He's been really solid all year. But I think in a shootout game that they're going to have this weekend, he's going to get off. I like Robbie.
I got to break this with this breaking news that just came across my phone. If you heard the ESPN, Des Bryant is active tomorrow. Do we think he's going to do? I mean, and it's so apropos as we're talking about wide receivers. Do you think he does anything?
No, come on. He's been out of football for what? 2 years now?
Yeah.
You talking about CMC coming back, side speed, the game, and all that. It's going to need a lot more than that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Guy's talented though. You can't take that away from him though.
Oh, talent is everything, but come on, man. Come on, man. I can play basketball, but I ain't walking on no court right now. Putting up 30 with anybody.
But what else do they have? Well,
Not even in the YMCA right now.
Besides Hollywood, who else is he depending on throwing the ball to? I mean, Willie Snead is
running the ball, and Mark Andrews. He's running the ball, and Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews Mark Andrews has the dropsies the last few weeks, dude.
I don't trust any Ravens on that wide receiver on that offense because
never.
Every game is just a different person, except for Mark. I think Mark Andrews still gets a lot of targets, but he's scattershot right now. I don't know what's going on with Lamar this year, but Lamar ain't the same player he was.
Lamar's not. He's not. My wide receiver, and I'm gonna go out on a limb with this one and say that this guy may be the number one ranked wide receiver after this week because of the team that he's playing, and what he's shown he's capable of doing. But I'm gonna give you the players, and I'm gonna give you the stat line that I think he's gonna have tomorrow. Chase Claypool playing the Dallas Cowboys. I'm gonna say confidently 8 catches, 157 yards, and a minimum 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
Check. That's verified.
I can see it, but there's a lot of receivers on that team. You still got Juju.
But look, as sad and as pathetic as Dallas is, they're going to focus all their energy on Juju and trying to get to Ben. The two things. They're going to try to get to Ben, and they're going to try to Juju. So that leaves Chase Claypool wide open.
Are they going to put up a lot of numbers, though? Are they going to have to?
No,
Are they really going to have to?
Actually, you know what? The only thing that's going to screw that up is if that, I think it's Jerry Jones's caterer who's quarterbacking tomorrow. If he's throwing pick sixes the whole time, but I'll tell you, if he's not pick six, and they're going to put some numbers. It's a statement game. It's Dallas. It's Dallas versus Pittsburgh in Dallas. Mike Tomlin's an asshole. You know that. We all know that. He is going to put some numbers up on that fool. I promise you that. I promise you that. Kenny, give me a wide receiver, buddy.
You said him earlier. I'm going to go with Mike Williams. He has been killing it lately. And I was this close. I was this close to dropping him, man, after the first 3 or 4 games of the season. He wasn't doing squat, but then all of a sudden, last couple games, he's blowing about 20 points out.
Yeah, and they're playing the Raiders, who you don't know which Raiders team is going to show up. So.
Oh, I still think that's going to be a high-scoring game because
in San Diego, in LA too.
Yeah, both of the offenses can go.
Yeah,
that's a good game. Yeah, that's going to be a good scoring game. Yeah, I like that. That's a good pick, Kenny. That's a good pick. I wish I thought of that.
Well, look, Marshall, you're a wide receiver. I mean, give me a stat line. What you think he'll put up tomorrow? I mean, you said Robbie.
I say Robbie. I say 8 catches, 123 yards, 1 touchdown.
Okay.
Because I think DJ's going to eat too, and I think Curtis is going to get his. They got a lot of weapons. I think CMC might cut into some of that too, but I think Robbie's going to get his 8 targets at least.
Give me a tight end then. So you start off with the tight end.
I told you mine was Noah Fant. Sorry,
okay.
Noah Fant all day. Noah Fant against that Atlanta defense is going to eat.
What about you, Kenny? Give me a tight end, buddy. Oh, you said you're going to stick with Hayden Hurst, right?
Well, I got another one for you, man.
Okay.
And Marsha mentioned this earlier. Kyle Allen against the I know he's quarterback against the Giants. I'm going to go with Logan Thomas.
Ooh,
that's a good one. Yeah, Logan. I will say this though. The only reason I'm not saying he's not going to have a good game. Giants actually do have a pretty decent defense. They're not bad, but they're giving up a lot of points. They're giving up a lot of catches, dink and dunks in there. But no, that right there is that's a good pick, and he has a pretty good relationship with Kyle Allen too, which is good. Because we all know Dwayne Haskins ain't doing jack, and because he's complaining too much. Tight end for me is kind of tough. I mean, I had one in mind, but I just don't think. But I think I was gonna say this but I hate the guy. I can't stand him. Trey Burton. I can't stand Trey Burton. He just
I
annoys
was thinking that too.
he annoys the crap out of me. Every time I pick him, I had him in a DFS, and oh my god, he just whatever. But no, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go. I think he's gonna have a bounce back week. I'm gonna go with Jonnu Smith for the Titans. They're playing the Bears, and the Bears. There's 2 Bear linebackers right now that are gimpy, and then there's Mack, and Mack is more known for coming in and trying to kill the quarterback. He's not the greatest coverage linebacker in the business, but he's disgustingly nasty of killing people. So,
Hey, man, I have a question. Just going through this year, what is your expectations of your tight end? Because I'm starting to see that if I can get 5-6 points, I'm just elated. Because there's no tight end.
Again,
Unless you got Kittles or Kelsey, you're not getting.
I disagree. I disagree. You got guys like Waller, who's averaging 15 points a game. You got
4 tight ends, right? There'll be 4 or 5 tight ends.
Right. Ertz is gone. He's been hurt the whole season.
He wasn't doing it early in the season. He wouldn't put up double like that.
No, but
Yeah, I agree with Marshall, man. I get 8 or 9 points for my tight end. I'm good, man.
I get it.
I am starting Jimmy Graham and praying that maybe he'll catch a touchdown.
But Jimmy has been playing good in Chicago, dude.
He's okay, but I'm talking about you're not getting the 11. I'm not expecting him to do double digits every week.
He's not Travis Kelce.
No, but there's a lot of guys you could say right now, based on what you said earlier. I'm just going to go back to what you said earlier about the injuries in the COVID time. There's not a lot of guys I'm depending on with double digits every week. It's a menage. It's the majority of your high scorers are there. Like if you got the Devontae Adams, if you got the D Hops, you got Russell Wilsons, you got Tom Brady's. You know, you're putting up good points. I mean, come on, 2-3 weeks ago, Kenyon Drake put up 40 points.
And didn't put up 10 or 2 the last week before that.
And he's been out the last 2 weeks. He's going to be out again this week. But, you know,
I had Kenyon Drake before then. He was doing absolutely nothing. I said me and Jeremy had him, and we both were sitting there like, he's doing absolutely nothing every week. Every week until I had to drop him.
I mean, look at Zeke.
He's not playing tomorrow.
Who?
He's out. Zeke is out.
No, he's not.
Is he?
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Check. Zeke is out. I saw it go past. Zeke is out tomorrow.
I don't think so. I would have got a notification. I think I would have got a notification.
It's in there, dog. Check it. Check it.
He's out.
He's out.
He's out. He's out tomorrow.
Look at that, man.
Ezekiel is questionable for Sunday's game against the Steelers. Could be trending in the wrong direction after the Cowboys elevated fullback Co Aluma, whatever, from the practice squad.
Zeke is out, man.
I mean, he's projected for 0 points right now. So yeah, I mean,
dude,
hey.
Honestly, I'm telling you, this year has been the year of if you have a special quarterback, that's carrying your team. Right. Russell is carrying somebody's team. Aaron is carrying Lewis. Aaron Rodgers is carrying Lewis.
No, Aaron Rodgers and Alvin Kamara are carrying Lewis.
Alvin Kamara are carrying his teams to a great record. He has and then our leader in another league was winning until Dak got hurt. Dak was carrying teams. So I'm saying this has been the year of the quarterback. I don't think you've been able to trust a running back.
Well, so let me ask you this:
some wide receivers.
So what would have been healthy Zeke? What would have been your expectations tomorrow against the Steelers?
Ooh, nah, that's a good defense, and he's the only thing people are watching for. Without Dak without a throwing quarterback, they would have crowded the line and stopped them. So I'm maybe 15, 12 points.
So who has to? I'm curious to see if Pollard was picked up. So Pollard in Lewis's league is owned by Austin, and in our league in No Ma'am, let's see who has Pollard. Any wild guesses who has Pollard? I would assume it's neither one of you guys.
Nope.
It's not definitely not me.
Nope. I think he's on waiver wire.
My brother.
Yeah, I saw him on waiver.
My brother.
earlier.
My brother got him.
Oh,
Oh,
of
he
course
did?
he would. The Cowboy fan.
He's a Cowboy fan. I mean,
I bet you Lee won't start him. I bet you Lee won't
I'll
start
tell
him.
you right now, if he hasn't been in the starting lineup, he's starting him.
Yeah, who's his other running back? That's one.
It was Zeke.
Yeah, he picked up.
Yeah, right now he has Zeke in there, but his only other options are Chris Carson, who's already been ruled out,
Yeah, already out.
and Tony Pollard. That's all he has.
Also,
Maybe
he's
I
gonna have to start.
Maybe I could do a late night trade with my brother. Let's see what we got. We'll have to, but let's move on. Let's go to the no-mans, the flakeazoids, the rejects, the guys that shouldn't even be putting on a chin strap tomorrow. Quarterback sit-em of the week. Marshall, I'll start with you, buddy.
Quarterback sit-em of the week. Anybody that's starting for the Cowboys right now, whoever the
We
quarterback
can't
is.
talk about no more Cowboys. We're not allowed to talk about the Cowboys because you sit everyone.
Okay.
We're gonna sit everyone on that team. So
Okay. I wouldn't start Daniel Jones against that Redskin defense. The Redskin defense actually has been solid. I
Yeah.
wouldn't start.
Yeah. But real quick, let me ask. Real quick, I want to ask you this before you go with your quarterback. Does this now if Zeke does not play tomorrow? Does this devalue fantasy wise every Steeler?
Wait a
Or
minute.
are they still just gonna put a pounding on them just to say we pounded the Cowboys?
Oh, I would go for the running back because they can just run the ball all day. So
Connor.
yeah. I think Connor's gonna put up points
Right.
because they're gonna get a lead, and then Connor can just run the clock out.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Kenny, give me your quarterback. Who you not playing tomorrow?
Nick Foles.
That was a good one. I was going with it.
That's a good one. God dang it, that's a good one.
I know. Look, don't point any guns at me when I say this, but I'm going Teddy Two Gloves, man.
Wow.
I just, dude, they're in Kansas City.
Wow.
They're coming for him, dude. Actually, it's either going to be him or, like I said, Nick Foles. I think the Titans are pissed off. I mean, they lost to the Bengals. I mean,
I think Katie's gonna be in the shootout, so I think he's gonna see some points. We're gonna lose, but I think he'll put up points in the meanwhile doing that.
Yeah, if the offensive line can block for him, he's gonna be fine. He'll do good.
Yeah, he'll be okay.
Running back, I'll go with running back. I don't know. There's a lot of them. I mean, obviously, we're not going to touch anybody on that Dallas game, but I'm going to go Frank Gore on Monday night. I think that wasn't bad. I mean, dude, can you imagine? Like, just fathom the thought if the Jets beat the Patriots on Monday night. I mean, their first win of the season, the Jets, and it's against the Patriots. I think that they will run Cam out of town. They'll release him the next day if he has another shitty game. But no, I'm gonna go Frank Gore though. But I'll go Frank Gore. Kenny, who you going running back?
And this is the one that we wouldn't start.
No man. No man.
I'd say LaMichael Perrine,
The same team?
the Jets.
Look at us picking on the Jets. There you go. Marshall, who do you got, buddy?
Sorry, man. The Jets are just
Yeah, they're terrible. Any day now, we're falling asleep over here. Kenny's old, man. He's sleeping when he hears silence.
I'll tell you what I did. I don't think Mike Davis is gonna get any more carries. I think. Do
you think that you think
that lovely ride is over? I don't think CMC's gonna. I think they're gonna get down early and have to pass. And if you're gonna have a passing, catching running back out there, who is it gonna be? CMC or Mike Davis?
But I mean, I think to Kenny's point earlier, he said that I think they're gonna ease him in. I think it's gonna be. I think you're gonna see a 50-50 split tomorrow.
Oh, but once they get down, I think it's gonna be. If we get down 14 points and they have to pass it all
Day, yeah.
At that point, yeah.
Wide receiver. Who wants to start off? I got one.
I say Sterling Shepard.
You guys just picking on the Giants and the Jets. Y'all hate New York, don't you?
No.
Sterling's he's been playing okay. I mean, let's not tout like the Washington Redskins are a great team. They're pretty sad, you know. My sit-em wide receiver of the week. Well, he should be set the rest of the season. Is T.Y. Hilton. But I'm going to go Zach Pascal on that team. I think they're going to have their hands full with the Ravens tomorrow. I think Phillip Rivers was going to be one of my real quarterback sit-em. It was in between Foles, Teddy Two Gloves, and Rivers. I think the Ravens are going to come out. They got embarrassed last week. They were up, and then they got just embarrassed the rest of the game through. So give me a wide receiver there, Marsh.
We can't name any Cowboy wide receivers, right? we can't say no more Cowboys.
Just no one's startable on that team tomorrow, dude. I mean,
all right, I'll say Allen Robinson. Cowboys against that Tennessee, like you said. I think Tennessee's pissed off, and I think the Chicago's about to get ram shot.
Okay. Tight end. I'm going to go to New York. No, actually, you know what? I'll leave him alone. I'm going to say Mark Andrews though tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah.
You actually going to sit one of the good ones.
I mean, all right. Well, we're going to lose Kenny for a minute. Kenny, it was good having you. Kenny got somewhere to. No, Kenny. I know Kenny had told me earlier you got somewhere to be. Not, I guess your daughter's not feeling well. Tell Catherine we said. Hope you feel better, sweetie.
Praise out.
Hey. Just know, I'll tell you the special announcement now since you're leaving. Give me 2 minutes and then you can bounce off.
Sure.
We are doing the first annual No Mammies, giving everyone awards.
Nice.
We're gonna do some awards for the league, obviously, but also based on the podcast stuff. And one award that we are gonna do is best special guest. So you need one qualifying. You got to be on at least one time to qualify. So you're in the qualification stage. Like I said, Marshall dropped a gem on you earlier, and everyone liked the Smokey and the Bandit thing that he did the last time. So, I gotta say he may be in the lead right now. I'm not saying for sure, but he is. But Kenny, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. Thanks for showing the love. Tell the kids. Hope she feels better. Give her some Gatorade.
I'll do it, man.
And you have a good night, my friend.
Hey, kill Kenny. He's out,
See you guys.
All right, buddy.
Peace out.
So yeah, Marsh. I mean, so basically, tight end. I mean, I don't trust that. I mean, again, to kind of go back to your point, though. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, you got your guys that are going to be good. You know, the majority was going to like this Schultz guy's going to be god awful tomorrow.
Yeah.
But we've seen stranger things happen. We whenever you need someone to rely on, a new quarterback, what do they usually do? They go to a tight end.
We're not seeing the star tight ends except for a couple of places.
Right.
Now, I'm saying you're not even getting the occasional great game against a tight end out of nowhere, except for Tonga this year. He came out of nowhere, but a couple of times last year you would find a Steeler tight end that would come out of nowhere and have 2 touchdowns. The guy in Indianapolis will put up some good numbers for you. We're not even getting that this year.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think tomorrow's going to be. I mean, it's back to my last week. I got to tell the fans out there. Last week I'm not going to be. I'm going to be out all day at South Mecklenburg High School here in North Carolina. My son got a baseball game, so we'll be out all day. I'll be on my phone. checking my scores. Hopefully I got to do something, but it is what it is.
You got your mask on, your social distancing.
No, man. No, at the games, I don't rock a mask. I just stay away from everybody.
Well, you do that normally, so.
Well, yeah, shout out to Joe Biden, baby. Joe Biden winning the election.
Hey, man, congrats, Joe. Kamala Harris, congrats, man. Good job, guys.
Good job, fellas. This is going to be who's on the bye? You got the Bengals on a bye this week. You got who else on it? The Browns are on a bye this week. There's 4 teams I think that's on a bye. That's on a bye.
Yeah. I'm looking it up now.
But
right. Jesus Christ, dude. Got a lot of Bengals. Let's see. Philly's on a bye. Philadelphia, the Eagles are on a bye.
Philly's on a bye.
Yeah. This is all I can see. Wait, I saw something.
But yeah, no, it should be a good the 8:00 game should be a good game. I'm looking forward to seeing Brady versus Breeze tomorrow to see what magic is left. You got some good 1:00 games, we'll see. But I'll tell you the Titans, we're basically winding it down, but to me, Gesicki is just the biggest waste of space out there right now. I mean, he's terrible, dude. I mean,
I thought he would be good. You know what Gesicki reminds me of? And I was hyped up the same hype I had for Rudolph.
And what happened to him, dude?
I don't understand.
And it's not from a talent
and it's not Irv Smith getting all the numbers because Irv Smith ain't putting up numbers either.
No, they are. But he's a good tight end.
Dude, I don't know if it's the offenses that are not.
It's the offense. It's got because where my opinion, where the NFL is going to is they're going for the big play game, the big plays all the time, more times than not, and it's deep passes to the wide receivers. Now, I will say this, and it was said during watching the Gator game today because, go Gators, beat the snot out of those Georgia Bulldogs, by the way. If you didn't, I don't know if you watched that game, but go Gators, chomp. The tight end position is changing. The tight end position is no longer your big Brutus kind of guy, and it's athletic dudes like Kelsey, like Kittle, like Waller, like Jonnu Smith can be.
You're former basketball players. You're power forwards in basketball.
Right. So they were talking about because the kid on Florida, Kyle Pitts, who's number 2 in the nation right now, tight end. I mean, the kid is just amazing, and that's what they're saying, that they see the shift is happening in the NFL right now. Is if they're not looking for they're basically saying if you have a team that has a tight end that is a big Brutus guy, he's not going to be your star. You get a guy that's 6'6", can run, and is uber athletic, you got yourself a stud on your hands. So
yeah, no longer are they just possession receivers and blockers. Right. Now they're
athletes. They're true athletes.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to get one.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, as always, my friend, it's a pleasure having you on here. Love you to death.
Great to be here.
Number 1 neighbor in the business, right there, Mr. Marshall. But
4 houses down.
Yes, sir.
4 houses down. 4 houses of fun. You know what I'm saying, man. Yeah, you know where I'm at.
We like I said, you're in consideration right now for the No Man podcast special guest of the year. I mean, I'm just saying.
I think that contest should have been over by now. I think I'm the best, but
I don't know. I mean, the Butch put in a good performance. Lewis put in a good performance, but he's missed 2 podcasts so far, so he may be disqualified. I'm just saying, man. I have my family on here. My cousin was on here. Austin did a great job.
Austin was a great job.
So,
I carried Austin that night though. I was there.
he's gonna hear that one. But as always, no man, we'll see you on Tuesday nights. Every Tuesday night, your boys will be back. Marshall, if you want to stick around, we'll talk after the podcast is over. But yeah, Tuesday night, 10 o'clock, as you know, it'll be on the YouTube page. Check us out. Love you. Peace out, man.
Peace out.